Based on the questionnaire and a few of the tests that I completed on my client, I've come up with some feedback and also a few strategies as a way of improving my client's health and general lifestyle. So firstly, I'm just going to briefly go through some of the tests that I completed on my client. So firstly, I did a body mass index check. So his body mass index came out as 31.6, which is actually, compared to normative data, this is classed as overweight. So if we look at the normative data chart on the right hand side of the screen, we can join up that he's 5'4" and 88 kg, which is in the overweight category, as you could put it, and it's actually nearly pushing on to obese. So this is something that needs to be closely checked up on, so regularly checked and monitored to ensure that his body mass index isn't increasing, because this could lead to some serious health issues. So things need to be done, like improving nutrition and fitness, to ensure that his body mass index goes down and that it's not constantly on the increase. So this is something that needs to be closely watched. It's not super serious at the moment, but it's something that needs, like I said, needs to be closely monitored. Moving on to blood pressure then. So his blood pressure check. So his systolic blood pressure is 149 and his diastolic blood pressure is 93. And again, this is coming out as a high blood pressure. So we can see this from looking at the normative data on the right hand side. Diastolic's 93. That already puts him in high blood pressure, and systolic is 149. So it's just above that pre-high blood pressure, sitting quite low in high blood pressure, but it's still considered a high blood pressure, which is something that again needs to be closely monitored and probably regularly checked, as having a high blood pressure can also lead to some serious health issues. And as you can see here on I put a graph together, a bar chart, to prove that he is over hypertension, which isn't great and something that needs to be closely monitored also. So also did a heart rate check. So the client's resting heart rate came out as 78 beats per minute. So my client, he was 37 years of age. So if we look on the normative data on the side, this is considered to be below average, which for a resting heart rate 78 is quite high. And again, this could be due to factors like not exercising much and maybe having a poor diet. So yes, again, this is something that needs to be closely monitored and also improved by maybe increasing general exercise and also improving diet, because this can, having a high resting heart rate can be quite a serious issue also. And finally, we've got a waist to hip ratio check. So here we can see my client's waist to hip ratio is 0.98. And if we look at the normative data, if we compare that waist to hip ratio to normative data, this is in the at-risk category. So all these tests have come out to prove that there's some things need to be done and put in place to ensure that these certain health aspects need to be improved. This is proven, as you can see finally, that his waist to hip ratio is at risk. And if we look at the bar chart that I've put together again, it shows that it's quite high over the at risk category. So this is also something that needs to be improved for his general health. Right, so based on the questionnaire and what I went through with him from the chat we had with him, I've come up with a few of his strengths and also areas for improvement based on the questionnaire I had with him. So in terms of goals, my client had three very clear areas of improvement for themselves, and these were nutrition education, losing body fat, and start of an exercise program. So this is really good that he knows exactly what he wants to work on and ways of improving for himself. He's not gonna carry on living unhealthily. He wants to be able to try and improve this, which will help for all these tests that I just went through. All those quite high scores, quite dangerous scores, will hopefully decrease as a result of this. In terms of physical activity, his strengths are he tries to go to the gym and work out as much as they can, but he said he did struggle with this due to time. He's very busy with work. So areas for improvement: client looks to and wants to exercise more per week, so this is another really good thing. He's really motivated to look to exercise as much as he can and wants to more, so this is something that we can help him with. And I've just noticed here, even if it's just doing a 45-minute gym session, my client should be stretching after exercise. So he did say in his my questionnaire with him that when he does go to the gym, he does fail to stretch each time, which can have some quite negative long-term effects on him, especially due to his job. He's constantly sitting down and is very static, and if he's not stretching, his body's just going to tense up all over the place, and it's going to put him at some real discomfort. So in terms of nutrition, my client doesn't skip any meals and always ensures they eat breakfast, which is great. However, some areas of improvement are, although he doesn't skip any meals, a lot of it is quite fatty food, so fast foods, based probably due to his job. He gets a lot of drive-through, takeaway type food, and also he needs to cut down on the fizzy drink and consume more water throughout the day. So he mentioned to me that he doesn't get anywhere near drinking the minimum amount of water he should be drinking per day, which is 3 litres. And he said he probably drinks more fizzy drinks than he does water, which is obviously something that really needs to change. So lifestyle now. Unfortunately, there weren't really any strengths coming out for lifestyle, but some areas for improvement are getting more sleep to help with feeling less stressed. He said he feels stressed a lot of the time. He doesn't enjoy his job, doesn't go out much to see friends, so he's constantly feeling stressed. So there's ways of improving this, which I can help him with. And also he needs to cut down on the amount of smoking and the amount he's drinking. So he said he's probably smoking around 15 cigarettes a day, which is way too much. And he probably says he has a couple of cans of beer each night as well, which isn't, it's quite a lot. That's probably way too much. So that's something that needs to be improved. And finally, due to physical health, some of the strengths is he doesn't feel unwell a lot. And some areas of improvement are reducing the amount the client is injured, so especially in the lower back. So the client mentioned to me that he gets a lot of pain down in his lower back area, possibly again due to his job and how static he is and not stretching. So this is something that can be improved to ensure that he's not feeling in discomfort during his job and just throughout his general everyday life. So now we're going to move on to talking about 3 strategies of improvement based on the questionnaire and the tests. I come up with 3 different ways to help improve his general health and lifestyle. So firstly, improving his lower back pain. So this is something that really stood out for me, and he really emphasized towards me that it's a real struggle for him, especially due to his job. He's always sitting down, driving around, being a truck driver, and being a truck driver and experience lower back pain is not something that you want. So ways of improving this are, I've recommended to him that he goes to get some sports massage in the lower back once a month. So it's not a lot, so it won't be too costly for him, but making sure he's going to see that masseuse every month will help keep the back nice and loose. It would just increase the general range of movement and hopefully just get rid of that general stiffness in the lower back, which will consequently reduce the pain. Also exercising as much as possible, and when I say exercise, I'm not meaning you have to go to the gym and work out to your limit. simply be, I recommend to him that when he's driving around, stop off every so often, just go out on a walk, just help to ensure he's getting that natural posture and he's not constantly sitting down, because that will just cause all parts of his body to stiffen up, let alone his back. And if he's got back pain there already, that can become more severe just from constantly sitting down and not having that range of movement in his back. Maintaining good posture, so when he is driving around, make sure that he's not slanting in any way, he's set up nice and straight. I'm going to recommend to him that he buys something to maybe put in his seat to ensure that he is sitting up straight, because if he's going to be sitting in awkward angles, that can cause long-term strain on the back, which is something that he doesn't want to develop, because when he gets older, that's just going to be a nightmare for him. Also quitting smoking, so it's the amount he smokes, it's not going to be an easy thing to do, but we're going to work with him to help him quit smoking, or at least cut down the amount he smokes. And how does this affect back pain? So nicotine can actually cause blood vessels to constrict and decrease blood to soft tissues. So due to the amount he's smoking, his vessels will constrict and not as much blood will be getting into his lower back area, into that soft tissue. So it's just going to become a lot stiffer and more uncomfortable for him. And finally, I've recommended to him that he spends a good 10 to 15 minutes doing some exercises on the foam roller. So we got an example in the top left hand corner of one of an exercises, but I'm going to send him through a list of about 7 that he can do. And what this will do, it will just help reduce the stiffness in his lower back. So from rolling and constantly rubbing around in the muscle area, it will help loosen it up and increase range of movement, which is really important for reducing pain and the stiffness in the lower back area. So secondly, just improving general nutrition. So another huge thing that popped out to me from the questionnaire is the lack of water that he drinks and the amount of fatty foods and junk food that he's eating. So if we talk about diet first, I'm going to refer him on to a professional nutritionist who's going to help sort him out weekly meal plans, so he can really ensure that he's eating a balanced diet and giving the body all the nutrients it needs to function efficiently. And this will also help with his stress levels as well, because constantly eating fatty foods, you wouldn't think it, but actually it puts more stress in your body and makes you feel worse about yourself. So if he's constantly eating all the right food, getting all the nutrients it needs, it will help with stress and also will help with his general health, and help to reduce things like BMI and his resting heart rate. All those tests will hopefully reduce in score. And also, just quickly adding on from the questionnaire, he's been to the doctor recently and he has symptoms of chronic heart disease. So if he's constantly eating fatty foods, his vessels and blood vessels are just going to get even more clogged up with fat and stuff in his cardiovascular system, which is going to slowly die on him. So it's really important that he cuts down on the amount he's eating from drive-throughs or whatever, and giving the body the proper food he needs. Secondly, drinking more water. So like I've already mentioned already, he feels that he drinks more fizzy drinks than water, and from now on I've recommended that he drinks only 1 fizzy drink a week. So that might seem quite ridiculous, but it's really important that he cuts down on the amount of fizzy drinks he's drinking, and instead is drinking around 3 litres of water a day, because it's just really going to help for his body and how his body's functioning. And constantly filling yourself with fizzy drinks, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't hydrate you properly. It doesn't help your cells like water does. It's not good, and it's something that needs to be stopped. So I've recommended he drinks 3 litres of water a day, so takes a bottle of water with him in the van.